What's up, Scrappy peeps? It's Adele from Inkie Quill, and I'm here with a 9x12 layout today, and we're getting a bit mixed meadery. Now, I've sped this first bit up quite a lot because it's really simple technique. All I did was I got a scrap piece of cardstock. I used the basil marshmallow, and I put some water on it, and I'm just splodging some watercolors on it. So you could do this with any type of watercolor paint. They could be from the kids section. They could cost you $5. They could cost you $50. Doesn't matter. Any sort of watercolor paint. You could do the same with mists as well. If you only have mist sprays, you could just get the liquid out of those. And I'm just creating a splodgy pattern because I'm going to stamp on top of this and use it like DIY pattern paper. So I'm just adding all sorts of colours, and I decide to get inspiration for this from that one flower piece that I think, I'm guessing it's crepe paper. I think crepe paper is the only chipboard that I buy, really. And I really wanted to use it because it matched the florals on my jacket that I was wearing. So I just dried that off, or I'm about to dry that off, and adding a little bit more pink where I wanted it to be a little bit darker in some places. Then I see if there's any colours over here I wanted to add, and I wanted to add a bit of the red as well because the colours in my jacket were reds and navies and a tiny bit of pink, so I wanted to make that red pop out as well. Then I'm going to grab these rub-ons. Now, you may have seen a layout where I had a bit of trouble with these rub-ons, but this was the first... Was this the first time that I used them? I think it was. And they went on so smoothly. The Amy Tan rub-ons, I always have great success with. But I do recommend that you use them up as quickly as you can. So within the month, if you can, when you're using rub-ons, because they tend to like dry up and not go onto the paper as well. So I'm just putting a few little rub-ons here, a few little rub-ons there. And that one, I had already accidentally scratched it. So I knew that I had to cover up the corner of that flower a little bit. I knew roughly where I wanted my photo, which helped because I was able to make it so that the rub-ons look like they were poking out from behind. I haven't stuck my photo down yet, but by roughly knowing where you want your photo and allowing a little bit extra if you're going to do some paper layers or matting behind it, it's much easier to use the rub-ons before you glue your picture on. So I'm just adding some at the top, some down the bottom. I'm kind of doing a shelf down the bottom. You'll see when I'm finished. And this layout, I love it so much. It's one of my favorites that I've done for ages. And I don't know if it's because it's quite clean or if I just like all of the floral elements. I'm not sure what it is. So you can see up to the top left there, I've used that watercolor paper that I painted before and stamped some abstract floral patterns on it, and I fussy cut those out. Didn't take me too long, but you could do the same thing with a punch. You could do the same thing if you don't like fussy cutting with your dies, or if you've got a cutting machine like a Silhouette, you could run it through as well, but I didn't mind fussy cutting out a few little stamped images. Added some tissue paper and a little mini doily. And I think that's all the paper layers that I do for this one, because you'll see when I start getting all embellishy that this photo just didn't need anything else. So now I'm sticking on that big giant chipboard piece because I always find it's best to start with the big pieces first. And then just randomly, I haven't planned this, I'm just sticking and plonking, my favourite motto. So I'm just grabbing different pieces, kind of trying to space out the different shapes, trying to space out the colours because some of them are more predominantly pink or blue, and just having a trickling of flowers down the side with a few hearts splashed in there as well. So you could try this same thing with any type of stamp motif. It would look really cool, I think, maybe with like all different shaped stars, or sized stars. You could also try it with maybe different words. It's up to you. But I decided to go with florals, and then that abstract circle that I think was from the florals and the circles are both from old Amy Tan collections. I think maybe her first couple that came out. I'm also just using the last of these little rub-ons. There was some tiny little hearts that I wanted to put on. but I didn't want to put those on until I'd stuck a few more of the stamped images and really knew where they could go. Now this big one, it says life is better with you, and I really wanted to use it, but the problem is when you put a rub-on over the top of something else, it doesn't always rub on properly, especially words, and I wanted to be able to still see the letters that were in this rub-on, so I decided to do it on a scrap piece of cardstock and then cut it out and make it my own embellishment, if that makes sense. So if you've got rub-ons that you're doing a layout and maybe your background isn't as light as you wanted to do, so maybe you want to use them on a darker background, you can always put them on a different piece of cardstock or paper, cut them out, and then just use them like a chipboard or a cardstock embellishment. Adding a little bit of foam because I want to layer it near that flower piece and the chipboard flower, which is a bit 3D-ish. And adding some more tape. So this one's it's a very clean way to get into mixed media. If you want to mix media but you don't like getting messy and you don't like the look of a messy splattery scrapbook page, this is a good way to give it a go without making a big mess underneath your photo. You can kind of control it by cutting it and stamping it and punching it. And I decided to call this one Better. Do I call it? No, So Very Sweet Together. That's what I do. So that thicker is from the Amy Tan Better Together collection. Just adding some really simple titling here. So I wanted the focus to be on the trickling of the embellishments and that big together. I didn't really need to use any more thickers, and I'm running low on just normal black and white alpha stickers, so I decided to keep it simple. I've got some little fake flowers that I'm cutting apart just in case I might want to use them. Digging through my little containers that I keep on my desk. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed this technique, and it's definitely something that I'll do more often. If you like this technique, I do a similar one using this same kind of thing in my Get Kitted online class, which is all about making your own DIY kit. And I have 20 projects, 30 videos, all about different projects. There's 20 sketches for different layouts, and there's one of the layouts uses a similar kind of strategy. So if you'd like to see more, you can head over to inkiequill.com to see about that. Now it's time to add all my little bits of wood veneer just to finish the layout off, and I have to add some Heidi shine at some point as well. So this was a bumpy photo. If you don't know what a bumpy is, it's like a selfie for your baby bump. And I had the intention of taking one every week and then putting them together in a bit of a time lapse, but of course that never happened because life happens and I can't remember to take a photo every week. So I took some when I could remember every now and then. I think this was definitely second trimester sometime, thinking around 20 weeks maybe. But it's nice just to capture the changes of how the belly grows, because my goodness, it grows and grows. So I'm adding a little bit of wood veneer here and some of those little blue sequin stars that I've been using quite a lot lately because they've been on my desk, adding a bit of space for some journaling. I didn't really need to journal too much, but I just felt like it needed a little something, and I don't know, I just really like this layout. I think it's just the embellishments they're different to what I usually do. It's a giant cluster, but it's not overwhelming because there is so much white space still on the layout. And I think that's it. I think that's almost done. Yep. So the gold Heidi shine just really made it. It just needed a little bit of petite something just to, I don't know, make it feel a bit extra pretty and magical. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and let me know in the comments if you have tried something like this before, or let me know what mixed media techniques you'd like me to show in scrapbooking, because I do want to show more techniques. I know I do the packaging technique a lot, but if there's any particular mixed media techniques in scrapbooking you'd like to see, let me know in the comments below, and I'll definitely film some process videos for you very soon. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and leave me a comment, because I do love to read all of your comments. They make me so happy. I'll see you all in the next video, guys, and bye!